Alright guys, it is Friday, which means it is time for another episode of Transformers Cyberverse. In this one, it turns out Bumblebee and Windblade straight up steal the Seeker's scout ship from the previous episode. And Bumblebee is doing the flying for some reason, even though he's a car and Windblade is a jet. And she would be more adept at flying because Bumblebee hits everything. But they eventually come to a safe landing, quote unquote, and the duo get back to exploring Bumblebee's shattered memories. I know they've shown it in previous episodes, but I haven't commented on it now. But the way they jack into Bumblebee's mind is very reminiscent of how they plug people into the Matrix in the movie The Matrix.
This will feel a little weird.
Which is funny because the whole reason they called the Allspark in the 2007 movie and not the Matrix is because they didn't want people confused between the Matrix of Leadership and the Matrix the movie. And now we have an episode titled Allspark where Bumblebee is getting jacked into kind of Matrix style to explore his memories. It's just kind of ironic. So then we get the third clip that we saw where Bumblebee is carrying the Matrix and the Matrix talks to him. And Starscream shows up with his randomly colored Seekers, and Bumblebee plows through them movie style. And after that memory, he explores another one where he and Optimus Prime are trying to get the Allspark through the space bridge while being attacked by the Decepticons. This is a fun action scene, and there's a cool moment where Optimus and Bumblebee both pull out guns to fire at some generic Decepticons, and Optimus obviously pulls out his iconic ion blaster, and Bumblebee actually pulls out a gun that looks to be very reminiscent of his G1 gun. So that's a nice Easter egg there. Starscream gets taken down by Windblade, and we also have this weird moment when Bumblebee is attacked by Stryker like she's some crazy ex-girlfriend. Who knows, maybe she is, because she is taken down by Bumblebee's current girlfriend, Windblade. Bumblebee tries to turn on the space bridge, but Soundwave interferes to no avail. And another interesting note, when Optimus makes a break for the space bridge, he's attacked by some other types of Seekers, one of which looks very reminiscent of Thrust. With that memory visited, ones around it start to reappear, giving credence to what we thought earlier is what is going to happen in the show. Bumblebee's going to explore his memories, that's going to unlock new ones, until eventually he gets his memory back. Overall, I thought this was a really good episode. Lots of little Easter eggs for the fans, including one to the Generation 1 movie that I thought was kind of forced. There's a part where Megatron is talking to Optimus Prime about his destiny or something, and then Optimus just cries out, "Never."
Never!
Kind of like at the end of Optimus Prime and Megatron's final battle in the G1 movie. But it doesn't really make sense to what Megatron was saying to him. There's also a funny bit where Bumblebee is basically describing every Transformers cartoon's plot since 2007.
Everyone's been fighting for millions of years, and we've ruined our home because we don't like each other? Oh, and there's this thing called the Allspark that created all of us because, I don't know why, but we lost it.
Well, it's not as simple as all. Actually, that pretty much sums it up.
I also never noticed this until this episode, but Megatron and Starscream both have some kind of accent.
Optimus Prime! You've already lost this battle and the war. Accept your destiny and surrender now.
End of the line, Prime.
I can't quite nail it down. The closest I think is maybe Australian, but both of their voice actors are from America, so I'm not really sure. I know Boulder Media is an Irish animation studio, so I thought maybe a little bit of their Irish accent was leaking through, but that can't be the case. So I guess we'll have to wait and watch future episodes to really get a good grasp of what their voices are like. We also finally get to hear Stryker talk, although all she does is scream Bumblebee, and then get knocked down by Windblade. But it's funny, I know in a previous video I said she kind of reminds me of all three of the main Decepticons from Animated. But here she seems to have some like asymmetrical design on her arms that I never noticed before. So it seems she might have a little bit of lockdown in her as well. And I know even though she only just says one line, which is basically just Bumblebee, I'm getting a little bit of a vibe of that Poison Lady from the Wonder Woman movie. You know the one? So I guess we'll have to wait and see what her character and backstory is like in future episodes. But yeah, another great episode of Transformers Cyberverse. I can't wait until the next one. I like that Hasbro put out this episode on YouTube, so it makes it a lot easier for me here in Canada to watch. So what did you guys think of this episode? Let me know down in the comments. Alright, see you guys next week.